So we move on now to looking at question 3. And question 3 is all about understanding what is implied in a text. And what is implied basically means what's between the lines, what are you not being told. There's an old phrase in writing, show, don't tell. So in the example I give a little later on, you got the idea is throughout the conversation I kept looking at my watch, and the idea here is that the person wanted to leave, and that's what I'm supposed to infer from that. So you can think of a dozen things that I'm sure where you've read people's inference and then you knew it was time to do something or not do something, or just take a lesson in. And that's what this is all about, what you infer and what's implied in this text, whichever text it is. Now again, looking at the question just to see the regularity with which words occur and the focus, and also to see in this one a slight difference in phraseology, so it doesn't throw us if it comes up, if it's not exactly what we're expecting. So the first thing we're always asked is to explain, and then it's going to be a section. So here we've got the word parts used, and here we've got some of. In reference to what we're doing here, they mean the same thing. So just explain which parts are linked to, and in this question it's things that are tense and exciting, and in this one it's thoughts and feelings. So we've got to look at both and be able to analyze what's being implied that shows thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it will seem like it's very obvious. So in this thoughts and feelings one, if the person said I'm scared, that's not really what we're looking for. It's not just the, or it will do, but it's not going to get us higher grades. We need to think about why she's scared and what situation this person is in, etc., to really get us there. So as mentioned, we've got to get under what they say to find out what they mean and read between the lines, and we have to explain what we pick up on. So there could be a mood that we pick up on, or in the atmosphere, there could be a feeling that the writer's trying to get across that's gnawing at her, or they feel something's impending, something's coming, and then there could be an intention, something that they're going to do, how they're going to go about something, etc. And we also have to look at any given point, where is our focus being directed? What are we being asked to look at and to echo again? Is it the gravity of a situation, something negative in a situation, or is it something good, something that will uplift us? So we're going to keep our eyes out for repetition of certain themes or ideas, because that's going to give us a key indicator to what we're looking at. And we're also going to look at change. So where things change dramatically, we'll be able to analyze those and try to discuss try to discuss in reference to the question what way now that leads us or changes us. So for example, with this one, with thoughts and feelings, if I was looking for change, and we're going to come to this in the exemplar pieces, and actually this question is best described through exemplars, because trying to explain what's implied is in of itself a bit of a challenge without actually having written it down. But here in this section, in the the extract that this refers to, she's on a boat and there's a storm, and at one point she mentions looking up at the clouds and it's a clear sky, so she thinks it's all going to get better. So there we've had a complete change, but then it changes back again because the wind and the storm pick up again. So picking up on that change would be a great way of actually looking at her thoughts and feelings. She just mentions the change in the weather, and she mentions obviously the physical representations in nature that are actually happening around her, but that gives us a huge reflection on what her feelings are at that time. She's really worried, scared, tired, drained, and then she's all hopeful and looking forward to something, and then it's kind of crushed and she's getting ready to be battered again. So it shows us a really interesting change. The most important thing I want you to take from this is do not say what you feel. I think the person is upset. I think they aren't friends. I think da-da-da-da-da. That's not what you're being asked. You're being asked for what they think. So keep it in the keep it in the third person. Refer to the by the name that you're actually given, and discuss their story, discuss what's happening to them or what they're going through, or whatever the question is. The XX here is not a series of kisses. That's old style X. It's a huge no-no, because it really does put you in a different ballpark altogether. Now, this is one of the reasons I've done this video, or this set of videos, is to really try and understand these questions, because this is one of the, and you'll see when I do the video on the examiner's comments, this is one of the areas where students really fall short. They do not answer this as this type of question. Remember, it's never going to change. So for as long as they keep this specification, it should be the case that, I just don't want to double guess AQA. I don't know if they change something, but it should definitely always stay as this understand what's implied here. So the first one was the retrieval, like picking up your understanding. The second one was presentation. The third one was understanding what's implied. And then the fourth one is language. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of people confuse this one with language as well. So please just try and remember that this is the one where you're talking about what's implied. And hopefully the examples will make that a little clearer. For the higher grades in this one, you're just really going for the depth and perception of any points. So instead of just saying that, say for example the snow was falling, and so for example they're on a mountain, the snow is falling, the person has lost all their food, etc. Their mouth is dry, they're panting, they can't see because the fog is really falling. Don't just say, if it was this question, then oh yeah, that makes us tense, it makes us want to find out what happens. That doesn't give you any depth or perception in that. What you want to actually talking about is a state of mind where he can't see anyone, and imagine the situation as it would be. Imagine the situation, him referencing the situation as it is, and the hopelessness and the loneliness, and the references to story mentioned earlier where other people didn't get off the mountain. That's what we want to kind of come across. And we don't want to just say it's tense or it makes us want to read on. They're generally generic answers, and in the last paper there were more generic answers we could use, and that's exactly why I think they've kind of changed the exam here, because there's nothing generic that you can use here. You need to be very specific and very original. Originality is actually rewarded here, and again, I don't mean originality in a ridiculous way, but in a very plausible context.